Hey guys, Eric Sue here. Welcome back to another episode of Goality Fitness Radio. I've got a special guest with me today. His name is Guy, and I'm going to have him share a little bit about himself, and then we'll get into the topic of today. All right.
So the question of the day is, how do normal, hardworking people who try their best without personal trainers and chefs to live fit and healthy, how do we conquer our health and fitness goals, enjoy the journey, and do it without overwhelm, confusion, or frustration? That's the life-changing question this podcast will answer. My name is Eric Sue, and welcome to Goality Fitness Radio. Hey guys, have you heard? Have you heard about Goality Life? Yeah, Goality Life is the first ever online membership from Goality that offers you a fun, interactive, and support-focused community, allowing you to transform your health and fitness without struggling in the process. It's not about repeating facts that you already know. It's about keeping you accountable, challenge you to keep moving forward, and seeing you achieve your milestones. Imagine looking healthy and fit anywhere, anytime. You deserve to have your most healthy and fit body. Now, Goality Life opens to the public soon. In the meantime, you can join our waitlist and be the first to hear when this happens. Just visit www.goality.com/life waitlist. Okay guys, before diving into this episode, I am so excited to announce 2 new high-intensity interval training workouts for you from me. After getting questions about how to get rid of body fat, I went to work and put together these workouts to target unsightly body fat. It's called Eliminate Stubborn Body Fat, 2 superior workouts targeting unsightly body fat. Imagine how you will look and feel when you get rid of this stubborn body fat. Now, what's included is an explanation overview and workout charts so you can execute these workouts once you download it. To get your free copy immediately into your inbox, visit www.goality.com/bodyfat. Okay, grab it right after this episode because you'll want to stay and hear what's in this episode.
So go for it.
Thanks. Guy Petruzzelli here talking to you guys. I'm a professional duathlete, also a CrossFit Level 2 coach, Power Speed Endurance head coach, working out of CrossFit Iron Flag in Westmont, and happy to be talking with Eric today about some pretty important topics.
Yeah, awesome. So I actually reached out to a lot of my fitness trainer friends and asked what were the top 2 fitness questions that they get asked a lot. And Guy came back with this particular topic, and it is, how do I lose my gut? Okay, and so I wanted him to explain to me what his answer is, and so I have him here today to explain that. All right, so Guy, how do you explain that to people?
So it's a pretty general comment that people make. I mean, I think the bigger question, the global question that we get is, how do I lose weight, right? Mm-hmm. Male or female, it really doesn't make a difference. And what I try to explain to people is that it's not just a one thing, okay? So people seem to be more apt to start working out. I mean, and we can get people to work out and get on an exercise regimen or, work out regularly. And like you and I talked about before starting today, people will see results the first 6 months. I mean, if people are pretty consistent, you're going to see results if all you're doing is just changing your workout routine. Correct. The problem is around that 6-month mark, people plateau. And that's where we see people begin to fall off and not want to work out anymore because they're just not seeing the results they want. And primarily weight loss results. Mm-hmm. The reason for that is people aren't following up with their nutrition. So they're great about going forward with working out or training, but the nutrition part lags. And it's so critical, as you know, they have to go hand in hand. As a matter of fact, like we talked as well, about 80% of success is based off of nutrition, not just the training part. Right. So the things that I try to tell people when they're asking, okay, how do I lose the gut or how do I lose some weight? Start tracking your nutrition. Right. Start there. You need to have a no BS answer as to what you're putting in your body every day. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And admittedly, journaling, tracking, it can be difficult because it can be tedious. Right. But there are some great apps out there. MyFitnessPal does a great job. There's very little guesswork that you have to do. Right. You can put something in, it'll pop up, and it'll show you. And I think what's important is when you can see at least a good 3-day block of how you're eating, then you can start talking about making adjustments to your nutrition so that you're working, both pathways at the same time. You're working your training, but you're working your nutrition, and that's how you're going to see long-term results and permanent ones.
One of the things that we joked about was, I think Guy started out asking people for a 30-day journal, which was too overwhelming, I think, for people.
Yeah.
Which I did too. And then I was like, wait a second, there's something that we could do maybe to assess you better. And we went to a 7-day. But even 7 days, no joke, but it was a little bit challenging too. 3-day, like Guy said, would be ideal. Okay, so we have a segment of your life that we can track, right? So from there, we take that information to extrapolate or to guess, if you will, if that's your typical meal eating, how we can improve or how we can adjust, right? So,
right.
We
Exactly.
go from there. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So diet is a very big piece. What else could we say, or is there a tip to journaling maybe?
There is. So any app if you use an app, a lot of them are going to default based on your weight, and then it's going to like I know for my FitnessPal, it asks you your current weight, and then it asks you your weight goal. So where do you ideally want to land? And it relies fairly heavily on a 50. I think it's 50. They put 50% carbohydrate, or allow 50% carbohydrate, about 30%. 25% protein, and then about 25% fat. Mm-hmm. What I'll recommend people to do is to eat as many whole foods as possible to start. And secondly, look at that breakdown and go 40-30-30, okay? Mm-hmm. 40% carbohydrate, 30% protein, 30% fat. And, when it comes to the caloric intake as well, people get a little bent out of shape, like, well, I think what people find is they undereat. Quite a bit. So what I recommend is if you have that assessment, you take a really hard look at it, and you're sitting down with someone like yourself or myself and saying, okay, this is where I want to go. Look at it as a 40-30-30. If where you're at, let's say you've been consuming 1,200 calories, right, but this particular, the particular prescription is you need to be eating 1,800, gradually build up to that, okay? So that your metabolism can catch up. So you're not feeling bloated, you're not feeling, some people feel nauseous, some people just get headachy. So you want to build up slowly to that caloric intake. And then you're going to find energy levels are pretty sustainable throughout the day. And then you're not making bad choices at like 3 p.m. When people talk about the crash, it's very real.
Right. When you say 40-30, those are the caloric
the percentages of your macros. Right. Okay. So 40% carbohydrate, 30% protein, 30% fat. Yep. The other thing too is don't get bent out of shape if you don't hit those numbers every day. The objective is to get close and to be eating as many whole foods as possible.
Yeah. What would be, do you have an example of what a day meal could be?
Yeah, pretty straightforward would be something like breakfast, which I think a lot of people still skip.
Breakfast.
Please don't skip breakfast. Please don't skip breakfast.
Yeah. How important is that?
I mean, it's just super critical. Yeah. So, something like a couple of eggs, any style you like. I like hard-boiled eggs. They're very easy and they're portable. So, a couple hard-boiled eggs, maybe some fruit. Yeah, I like strawberries, so I'll cut up about a cup of strawberries, and just because it's also easy for myself and I'm on the go in the mornings, a tablespoon of peanut butter, and I'm out the door. Yep. And I feel pretty good. Like my morning is good, and I'll make it to my mid-morning snack without any issues, and I'm not getting those hunger cravings.
Right.
Lunch is, again, keep it pretty straightforward. Some form of protein. I mean, unless you're vegan, it's a little bit more challenging. But chicken, beef, fish with vegetables. You want to throw in a little
lettuce
bit of avocado.
Lettuce wraps.
Lettuce wraps are good.
Yeah.
Lettuce wraps are good. Just know whatever dressing is on there. Know what that is, okay? Because that's gonna probably affect your fat intake more than anything else. But things like that are good.
Like soups too.
Soups are good, but you make sure you have some protein. Unless there's a lot of meat in the soup itself, make sure you have some form of protein as well. So another egg is not going to hurt you.
Right. I was going to say, nowadays you probably have seen a lot of vegans that they don't like meat. So any substitutes?
There are some plant-based options there. I do believe some go with soy. I know they use soy as a substitute. I'm not a huge fan of that, but anything that's pea based. So pea protein is pretty popular and pretty good.
Right.
And there are options as far as that if you're looking at pre-made meals
Right.
that can provide some protein.
Because there are a lot of options nowadays on the market. We just got to look,
True.
And so that's the way to go. Dinner then could be a little smaller.
You know what? Dinner might be a little bit smaller for people, but again, you want to look at, I got to have protein. So, chicken, beef, fish, pork if people like pork as well, vegetables, a little bit of an avocado, quarter of an avocado. You can even add some fruit if you'd like, and you're good.
Because it's not like you have to eat salads for 3 meals.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, one big salad, 2 big salads.
Yeah,
like that?
or something I like to do too is for myself on a Sunday, I'll make a bunch of chicken breasts. I'll grill a bunch of chicken breasts. Now I have them. Now, I take some of the prep work out of the way during the week.
Right.
And, I can marinate them. I can, sometimes I'll make like spaghetti squash along with it. Things like that, but I've got the protein knocked out because it typically takes the longest to make.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. I like cooking in batches or whatever you like, Sunday prep and cook for 3 days and then cook again on Wednesday, for example.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Absolutely.
So that's always a really good strategy.
Cutting up a bunch of vegetables that you might like too, has them on hand. And then, however you want to, if you eat them raw, great. If you want to prepare them a different way, at least they're cut for yourself, and then you can prepare them however you'd like.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of this dieting is going to help with the get rid of my gut, get the fat off type of mentality that we have.
Right. I mean, so it works a couple different ways. A lot of times what I'll see people do when they begin to track, and if they're honest, and please be honest when you're tracking, because again, there's no judgment being passed. It's just a case of needing the information to give you informed, informed protocol. Right. So people undereat. I think people undereat quite a bit, at least from what I've seen. I don't know if that's globally, but but I have seen people will undereat, or what they'll do is they're trying to lose weight. And so their assumption is that I'm going to eat less, therefore I'm going to lose weight. And then people do I started a new exercise regimen, and I'm going to eat less at the same time. And you understand the body goes into, your metabolism is very smart. Your metabolism says, I have to keep this physical being alive for as long as possible.
It's a BMR, right?
Yes, your BMR. And the basic science is that a body can go 30 days without food and survive. So your body's pretty efficient in that regard. So, but what happens to your metabolism, it slows down to meet the demand. And the demand is, I've got to feed your organs and your brain first. And then if you're deciding to do something physical, that gets, that's the last play. Your muscles get the energy last, okay? So, what I tell people to do is eat regularly, space out and I understand people's lives and jobs, it may be difficult, but space out your meals and try to stay as consistent as possible with them. And eat. Don't think because you're starting a new workout that you need to eat less, or that eating less is somehow going to cause you to gain weight. Short term, it might. The problem is that like I said, your body's smart. It's going to slow down, and that's where you see people gain weight there as well. So to lose, like people talk about that visceral fat. I don't know how to say it. I mean, this. There's not a magic pill.
No.
I know there's plenty of people out there promising that. But it really comes down to exercise and nutrition working hand in hand.
When there was that magic pill, people got heart attacks, I think, or something. What was it?
Stacker. Well, Fen-Phen. And I mean, I'm old enough to remember you used to be able to go get this product called Stacker. And people were having heart attacks. People going to the gym and they're working out and they had all this energy, and then they were stroke or heart attack.
You don't need to die out there, guys.
No.
Oh yeah, Fen-Phen was one of them, I thought.
Yeah, Fen-Phen was very popular.
But anyhow, so we got the eating down a little bit. We can always dive deep into it. The fitness side of it, was there any specific way to train?
It's got to be a combination of strength and conditioning with some aerobic activity. When I say aerobic activity, I'm even talking about walking. Something that I've even just discovered for myself, and I've seen high-end athletes do, is after they eat a large meal, they'll walk for 10 minutes. So instead of going into that kind of like that food coma after a large meal, a 10-minute walk helps your body metabolize your food better, and gives you a little bit of that burn, so that, especially like at night, let's say you have a big meal. My dinners tend to be big because of my day, just the way my day works. So I'm typically working out before I have dinner.
Okay.
So what I do, and I did it last night, I will finish eating, clean up, and go for a 10-minute walk.
Okay.
And
this is a post-meal activity.
A post-meal activity. And it's, look, I'm not even walking briskly, I'm just walking.
Okay.
I'm going for, the weather's nice now, thankfully.
Yeah.
So, I'm able to get outside and do that, if you have a treadmill, whatever the case is. But a 10-minute walk is super, super beneficial to keeping your metabolism up and allowing you to, to maintain that burn through the night.
So that's a good way to start off if you're not doing anything, right?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
And then with those who are working out or doing something now, maybe in a plateau, what would you say to that?
Again, this is where I tell people to write down what you do. I mean, I think it does help tremendously to see, what do I really do for my working out?
Yeah.
I think the default for a lot of people who belong to health clubs, if they don't know how to use weights, or they don't understand how to combine movements, like
a routine,
right? They default to a treadmill or an elliptical.
That is true. Yeah.
Which is very easy to get bored over. I personally, I know for myself, after about a week, I couldn't do it anymore. If that was what I was doing every time I walked in, I couldn't sustain. So take a good look at what you're doing, and from there, start making changes. I think it's critical, especially, and there's enough science out there to show, as we get older, adding weight training is critically important.
Right.
Adding some weight training.
Lifting weights.
Lifting weights. Stop believing that just because you pick up a weight, you're going to gain mass. The science behind that is so complex. It takes quite a bit.
Actually, it's funny you say that, because I was working with a newer client, and the first thing they saw when they saw the machine, we were talking about machines, they thought immediately that their thighs were going to be bigger after moving the weights around. What do you say to those people?
So
real quick?
Here's, and I've been very fortunate to work with power lifters, Olympic lifters. Okay, people who need to put on mass in order to move more weight. Okay. The caloric consumption that they have mixed with their training. You're talking about people who are putting in strictly weight training. Anywhere from 3 to 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. Okay. Moving big weight.
I was going to say how much weight.
Combination movements as well. All right. Their caloric intake is somewhere upwards of 8,000 to 9,000 calories a day.
So none of you guys are doing that.
I mean, if you people, I don't think people understand how difficult it is to actually eat that much food.
Sure. Oh yeah.
I know you get it, but if you were to sit down and look at what it takes to eat 8,000 calories, it's tough.
Do it.
It's pretty tough. I mean, a lot of these athletes have told me they have to set alarms for the middle of the night. They have to get up and eat. Eat a meal, a full meal. At like 2 a.m. So there's
not
so
just
much
once,
more.
by the way.
No, not just once either. So there's so much more that goes into it. That building mass is a very complicated thing. It does not happen. It's not going to because you just moved some weight. What you're feeling is probably a little bit of muscle
hypertrophy.
Right.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. But no, you're not building mass.
You don't have to worry about lifting weights.
Yes.
Okay. Unless you're a power lifter.
Right.
Then you go there.
Right.
But so the workout could be CrossFit. It could be functional based. It could be walking. It could be.
I think
high intensity, which is really popular now.
High intensity training, but keep it varied for yourself. If you have 5 days a week, I say do some strength and conditioning, CrossFit based, high intensity based, 3 days a week. 2 days a week, go for a 30-minute walk.
Yeah.
At a time that is most convenient for you.
Yeah. I think that's really good.
It doesn't have to become overcomplicated.
Yeah. I think that's the problem, guys.
I think, well, and look, in the information age that we're in, there's so much, you go
latest
on,
study.
Right, the latest study, or somebody's Instagram post, or somebody's Facebook post, or, and they've got hacks, or they've got this, and they're doing this. It doesn't show you the whole picture, though. It just shows you a very, very small snippet.
The outcome, not the work.
Right, not the work. So keep it as simple as possible. I recommend keeping it simple.
So how do we kind of summarize everything we just talked about? What would we kind of conclude for our audience here listening? What would we say to the question, how do I lose my gut or belly fat or whatever it is? How do we keep it off?
Accountability to self. If you've made the commitment to starting a new workout routine, or you've made the commitment, if you're saying to yourself, I want to lose weight and this is what I want to do, remember, you're accountable to yourself above anything else. Yeah. You may work with a personal trainer, you may work with a group, whatever the case is, but you need to be accountable for you. Be consistent. Yeah. And I mean, be consistent not only with your working out, be consistent with your nutrition, and be consistent with your tracking.
Yeah.
Remember, it is different. We're always hardest on ourselves. I know that goes for myself. So it can be difficult to look at a food log or a workout log and say, man, this is what I've done. But it is a honest answer. Yeah. So, be consistent with all of those things, and find the things that you enjoy. Like, find joy in what you're doing. This should not feel like some kind of trudge through, some terrible cold weather. Find things that you enjoy, and you will find success in that.
Yeah. If you guys need motivation and whatnot, you can always contact Guy or something. And motivation is either external or internal. Hopefully it's internal, but motivation is something that I find that people lack in sometimes. Getting the energy to go out and walk 10 minutes, right? But just 10 minutes. Right. But just the energy to go out, whatever, after eating and things like that. We'll discuss that in a future episode or whatnot. Take a lesson from Guy or whatever to get that information. I think this was a really great episode. I hope you guys liked the information. Remember to like and subscribe, comment below, let me know what you guys think of this episode. Hit the notification button if you guys like this so that you can get future episodes right away. And thanks to Guy for this time.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
All right.
Bam! Hey, thanks for listening to my podcast. Are you overwhelmed and frustrated with your fitness journey? If you are, I get it. There's so much information out there and it can be confusing. It's a terrible feeling and I want to fix it for you right now. Yep, it starts with my educational library containing my best trainings. The best part is that it's free to join. You get my training secrets, special workshops, and cooking recipe books. Valued over $2,000 at this time with ongoing updates in the future, there is no other time to join than now. Visit www.goality.com/raw to sign up today. You'll be glad you did. Hey, remember to subscribe and leave feedback for me. Did you know you can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Eric W. Sue Trainer? I have unique content there and it would be cool to connect with you there. Finally, share or tag this episode with your friends. Sharing is caring. Okay, catch you on the next episode.